hardly our concern. We're masters of business. You could conjure Friedman's disembodied head and have it proclaim for you, the social responsibility of business is to increase profits. You could then nod to yourself with certainty that you have done the right thing. Nothing more to say. It isn't the business of business to address inequality, you might say. And the fury of the people is surely the result of their mere inability to understand how they are better off. Okay, sure. We could spend a long while arguing whether businesses have the responsibility to do more than be profitable, but I don't think that's proven. I do wonder, however, who will then ensure that the social contract between workers, consumers, and industry is maintained? Who will ensure that businesses actually have fertile and stable ground from which to operate? Do businesses have no responsibility to maintain such a base? Perhaps not, but then what about individual business leaders? I've heard many speakers, titans of industry, all of them, Covey LBS, be asked the question about the societal or community impact of a specific action and slide it off their plate with the casual remark of, that's a real issue. Society really needs to think about that. And they have been assured by our adulation that merely acknowledging a problem is doing their bit as a business leader, and the rest is up to government or society. That is woefully, entirely, and categorically unacceptable. We are the elite. We are society. Perhaps not immediately, but we will guide and mediate these discussions. Our decisions will influence the lives of millions of people across the world. And we are the elite of a world order that is cracking because no one has given a sufficient enough damn about the people that are left out of its successes. What does all our cosmopolitanism matter for if we are the very people that are in a position to begin influencing, designing, tweaking, and changing the way our systems work to ensure that growth is shared, and instead we choose to do nothing? I was recently in a discussion about the state of, I don't know what to call it, pan-galactic Anglo-Saxon rage. And a friend quoted for me at the beginning of Yeats's The Second Coming. Turning and turning in the widening gear, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. As in Yeats's time, many people are turning to worldviews that can reconfirm their strength in the face of uncertainty and give them a reason for their apparent suffering. In our time, there is no reason capitalism should be the world's dominant mode of economic organization. It is not a foregone conclusion that cosmopolitanism should be considered a positive trait. But we know that these elite beliefs allow for greater peace, greater individual freedom, and greater prosperity for all people. And we are the generation that is left with the bag, the task of making true what our forebears have failed, and fixing their errors. I don't have a singular solution for you. Anti-capitalists, nationalists, reactionaries of all stripes will certainly achieve further victories. But each of us can work in our own ways, here or in our own nations, to achieve greater harmony through the reduction of inequality and the spread of prosperity. There are three broad but definitive efforts you can embrace that are meaningful in every community. First, become engaged in the civil discourse of the local, regional, and national areas in which you live. Your respectful voice, speaking positively, and projecting an inclusive and mutually beneficial worldview is vital. I do know that many of us still come from countries, and will be returning to countries, where public action can be a dicey decision from both a professional and personal perspective. To you, I would suggest the adoption of more neutral causes that will still better include many of the global market order. Two such suggestions are the second and third items in this list. So second, support causes and work to ensure better health and educational outcomes for the children of your communities. Nothing better allows for economic successes in the future than good health and good education for children. Third, and finally, ensure that the women of your community are empowered. Women are 50% of the world, the only people capable of being mothers, and please pardon my Americanism, they still make sense on the dollar compared to their male counterparts. Parental leave, equally shared parenting, and ensuring mixed workplaces all help massively. If we need to ensure the equal dispersal of the fruits of capitalism, equal empowerment of women is low-hanging fruit. I'm grateful for the chance to preach with you today. I'm not entirely concerned with whether you fundamentally agree with me on a lot of this or not. But what I would say is that when you leave here, when you leave any institution like this one, it's so easy to have your courage fail you. It's so easy to become weak and to lower your expectations of yourself in the way that you challenge yourself in your own beliefs. I feel lucky and privileged, and nothing has made me more certain of that than these 2 years of London Business School, and I wouldn't want any of us to lose that. You are the single most impressive collection of people I have ever known, and I'm humbled to be a part of it. Thank you all for being here and being here for each other. And let's all do our part to make it possible for future students to have the same experience we've had by supporting the class gift. Many thanks.